All right, guys, I have a huge announcement to make before we get into today's video. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be attending Alpine Volksfair, which means the 1000 SP will also not be there. But what is happening is we are going on the Overcrest Productions Rally in southern Utah. Many of you guys may have heard about the Overcrest Rally. They've done them in Oregon, in Idaho. This year they're doing it in southern Utah, which is one of my favorite places on earth. And ever since the dates were announced, I was living in sorrow that they were both on the same weekend. But after some inadvertent phone calls, some conversation with friends about some particular projects that are kind of under wraps, and talking with Chris at Overcrest, all the doors opened to build a car and make it to Utah for the rally, and it's an opportunity I'm not going to miss. So we have a lot of news to get you guys up on in the next few episodes leading up to the rally, which is in just a couple months. Some of you guys may remember I have a car that I shipped to the West Coast to a friend's shop to basically sit on ice for a future project. Well, that future project is happening in the next couple of months for the rally. If you're on the Patreon, you already know what's going on. So if you really want to get your first inside look as to what's happening for the Overcrest Rally, the Patreon link is in the video's description below. The support means everything. It helps the channel and the shop grow in a massive way. But I wanted to make that announcement before the video. We are still full throttle on this car. I want it done by May anyway, but we are going to Utah. We've got a car to build in California first in literally the next month or two, and then a cross-country road trip after the rally back here to Chattanooga, Tennessee with this new car. And speaking of road trips, let's get right into today's video.
You got some fire! Holy!
10 times better than the Lambo. F that.
I've never seen a Century in person. Holy shit!
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're jumping back a few years to a pretty special car. And this car I actually purchased and built here on the channel, but it was in the infancy days of the channel. So I wanted to revisit, re-edit, and re-upload the whole video series about this car into one episode. When I first started this series on the channel, I was in the middle of an insane road trip that lasted about 2 to 3 weeks. And it all started with the sale of my 1981 right-hand drive BMW E23. I sold it to a guy in Costa Mesa, California on the West Coast who had also previously purchased my Lada 2101. I'd always wanted to drive this car cross country, so he agreed to let me drive it 3,500 miles from New Hampshire on the East Coast of America to Los Angeles on the West Coast of America. So I started planning out this crazy trip to not just drive straight to Los Angeles, but to stop in a bunch of cities along the way and hold some pop-up meets. But we made it to Los Angeles without a hitch, no problems whatsoever with the car. And the original plan was to just fly home from Los Angeles after this incredible coast-to-coast trip. Before we set out on the trip and before I could purchase return flights home, I had found one of my dream cars. This was a car I had searched worldwide for on and off for about 10 years. And this car was a long wheelbase VG45 Toyota Century. What's special about the Toyota Century in general is that it's Toyota's flagship car that was hand-built and never exported outside of Japan's automotive market. Without taking the whole episode to bore you guys about Toyota Century production details, they did make a long wheelbase Toyota Century in the first generation, but they also made a limo version, which was still only a 4-seater, just a stretched version of over 2 feet. It was about 26 inches longer than the short wheelbase. There's not a lot of information online about this specific Toyota Century model, but they say that Toyota planned to build about 60 per year throughout the last few years of the VG45 Toyota Century production. That would mean about 420 were ever built, give or take. Maybe a few less, maybe a few more, I don't know. All I know is that they're really hard to find. So fast forward to the planning stages of this E23 trip to Los Angeles, a friend of mine sends me a Facebook Marketplace ad for not just a Toyota Century, but a long wheelbase limousine VG45. and it's in America. It's on the West Coast in Seattle, Washington. And before the end of that day, the first day he had made the listing, I had sent him a deposit to hold the car because this trip was gonna get a whole lot crazier. So fast forward to where we're at right now. We make the drive to Los Angeles, no problems in the 735, but instead of flying home, we fly to Seattle, Washington from LAX to pick up this Toyota Century, sight unseen. I know nothing about it mechanically, and ultimately drive this thing over 3,500 miles back home to New Hampshire on the East Coast. And it's obvious to mention that since Toyota never exported this car out of Japan, you can't get any parts for it anywhere in America. So to see how this trip went down in a much shorter span and not 6 or 7 episodes, it's all right here in this one episode. I hope you guys enjoy watching as much as I enjoyed my journey with this car. There will be more flagship builds on this channel, rest assured. It is about 4:30 in the morning, got down to LAX. Now we're on the bus heading to the terminals now. Legitimately running on an hour and a half worth of sleep. I need to be editing video on the plane, but we'll probably be sleeping. We just made it to Seattle, get some coffee, get some food, get a rental car, and then get over to see the car. We're at a place called Tommy's Cafe, south of Seattle. Guy I'm buying the car off of recommended this place, so we're gonna get some breakfast and then head over to his place and get a look at the car. Cannot wait to see this thing in person. I've never seen one in person before. It's been a long time since I've been to Seattle. All these vehicles that have rotted out in the Northeast are still surviving out here. So we're about a mile out. I'm super excited. As I've mentioned a few times already, I haven't seen, nor have the three of us, seen one of these cars in person before. I'm feeling a little bit of anxiety because we have some work to do to the car to get it ready for the drive. I've wanted one of these cars for a long time. I've searched on and off for probably 10 years for one of these cars. They're super rare, they're super hard to find. I see it from here, dude, up here on the left.
Yep.
Do you see it?
Can't miss it.
Oh my goodness. Dude, we're driving that thing 3,000 miles home to New Hampshire. Oh my gosh. Crazy, so crazy.
Never have time.
All the stuff, most of the stuff we do is American and like German stuff, so crazy. Right, I think there's a pressure problem. Yeah, and they just get dry over time. Yeah. Yep, I need a 50 when they're legal. First look at the Century. We got it running right now. Engine sounds pretty smooth. Belts are a little worn. I have belts with us. Power steering feels like it works well. We're going through the HVAC stuff now. That works. Heat works. Everything's in Japanese. You can kind of figure out what does what. We can go through lights and stuff, make sure all that stuff works. Oh my gosh. This thing is amazing. One's auto. Yeah, notice that's auto. This is like just intermittent. Just manual. My shoes off there. Oh, that's the life. This thing is so nuts. We're here at Les Schwab Tire Shop here in Seattle. They were able to squeeze the Century in this afternoon to get 4 new tires mounted and balanced on it before we hit the road. We are at Dick's Hamburgers. Word on the street is this place is better than In-N-Out. I don't know, but we're gonna find out. That's a tall order. It's a pretty rad sign though.
For at least a week, at least 10 days.
We heard the strawberry shakes are unbelievable here, so
I'll just send
bottoms
these
up.
to you and her. I didn't send these either, but I didn't really think about it. I was kind of just fucking around. What, so, okay, so are you trained or not? You're like,
That's pretty good. I haven't had a strawberry shake from In-N-Out yet, so I haven't dived into the burgers and fries. I have a feeling like the fries are better than In-N-Out though, but don't tell them I said that. Some people will pay with Cash App or Venmo or something like that. Huge thanks to everybody who came out to the Seattle TGC meet last night. We are hitting the road to Spokane, Washington tonight. We're gonna try to get that 4-hour haul done and under our belts so we can get the Billings sooner tomorrow, because we have a TGC meet in Billings, Montana tomorrow night from 7 to 9. So that's a 12-hour haul from here, and I don't really want to do a 12-hour haul all in one go in that Century. It's feeling pretty good on the highway. We put maybe a 10-minute drive down the highway at highway speeds in that yesterday. Smooth as glass, feels amazing, but just gonna pace ourselves into the long hauls that have yet to come on this trip. We are in Spokane, Washington, and we've made the first 4-hour stretch in the Century, and it has killed it. You're in the back, you're like riding on a sofa.
Yeah, can't even tell I'm in a car.
So far, so good. We're gonna make a 7.5-hour stretch to Billings in the morning.
There's a motor in there.
We got plenty of oil in there. It definitely needs an oil change. We want to get some tape to cover the front of this thing up, probably in Billings once we wash it. I can't wait to sit back there.
What's it smell like here, Mike?
Smells like pine trees and a Yankee Candle store.
It does smell like Yankee Candle here. We are in Montana. The car's doing well through the grade, which is awesome. Got a lot of climbing to do. I don't know if the transmission's got a cooler or not in this thing. I'm sure it does. It's a pretty heavy car, and she's full duty cycle on these hills. We are in Missoula, Montana. We're gonna get some lunch. Car's running great, and we're at a pizza shop called Pie Hole. I love it out here. This is my first time in Montana, and it is impressing me beyond words. This place is amazing. The weather's great today. This place looks pretty good. Welcome to my new mobile office, where I am working on the TGC America Tour YouTube videos from the road here in Montana. This thing is crazy. We stopped in Butte, Montana, and we got fuel. We asked if there were any good local coffee shops, and they directed us 2 blocks down to this sweet little log cabin. She's making these iced pumpkin chais with real pumpkin. We just got real pumpkin iced chais. Thank you. Thanks. Wow. Quite the excursion. Gerald. Gerald, nice to meet you, man.
How's it going,
Yeah,
guys?
nice to meet you.
Corey.
Nice to meet you.
Mike. So everything's just.
He's just over 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
He's a good boy, though.
We've made it to Billings, Montana. We put probably 8 hours in today since Spokane, maybe 9.
Did you stop in Coeur d'Alene?
We didn't.
Get back in your car.
We wanted to
go back.
We just finished up the TGC meet here at European Performance in Billings, Montana. We were able to pull the Century in, detail it a little bit, and get the nose covered up in tape, which we've been meaning to do since the get-go of this trip. We're staying with our friend Paul here in town tonight and making a 13-hour haul to Omaha for the meet there tomorrow night. So we got a haul tomorrow. We're in Manchester, Wyoming right now, a few miles over the border at this cool little coffee shop called the Dry Bean. Yeah, we've been on the road for a couple hours now. We're gonna get some coffee and continue hammering to Omaha.
Y'all gonna put her on the video?
We're in South Dakota. McDonald's is not usually on the menu, but we have, what, 8 more hours? We got,
I don't know, man.
we got like 8 more hours to go, and we're gonna be late to the meet in Omaha, so chicken nuggets it is. Trust me, we don't want this stuff either, but chicken nuggets and a sweet tea, back on the road. It's a long drive today. This is the longest stretch of the trip back east. Be good to us, Ronald. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to get off this ride. We're in the middle of South Dakota somewhere. I don't even know. We're so far away from the Omaha meet. We thought we had it all figured out, and now we don't. And with the time change and all that, we're going to be like 2 hours late to our own 2-hour meet. So, we're here in Omaha, finally. Google said it was going to be 12 hours.
Lies.
I don't know what happened. We got caught in some like alternate universe or something. But we're here in Omaha finally with my friend Fred.
What's up, guys?
He helped put on the spot here for us. Pizza, drinks. Thank you so much, man.
Don't worry
Really
about it.
appreciate
Don't worry about it.
There was probably a good 50 people here when we showed up. We got here late. Great time to hang out with everybody here in Omaha. We don't get a chance to come out here that often at all. What day is it? Wednesday?
Yes.
It's Wednesday, September something. We are in the middle of Iowa right now. We're cruising across on I-80 to Chicago for the Chicago meet tonight. Car's running great. We're with my friend Travis from KTBF. He lives in Iowa, and we're passing through Iowa.
Yep.
Met up for a quick bite to eat.
Pizza.
Yeah, heck yeah. We're here in Chicago at where we're gonna have the meetup. We just got to the hotel, finished up the TGC meet here in Chicago. So happy to see some old friends from this area. My good friend Miles, who's known as Fable, came through. He had a static Miata in 2011 that he drove from Chicago to H2O in Ocean City, Maryland. He lost airbags. He hit a bridge expansion joint so hard that he blew the windshield out of the car. I think he said it was like 8 days to get to Ocean City from Chicago in that car because of it just dragged on the ground all the time and he kept breaking stuff. He basically only did it because people were saying he couldn't. He doesn't have any social media. He has like a flip phone, maybe just a landline now. I had no idea what happened to him. And he randomly shows up tonight and gives me a big hug. It was so good to see him. He's still just as hilarious. Funniest guy I've ever met.
And they said, well, if you don't get it done within the next 12 hours, we're impounding the vehicle. One of the guys, he's like, dude, like just like plexiglass. I'm like, where the fuck are you gonna find plexiglass here, you know, whatever. There was this like life-size poster of Justin Bieber, that's when he was big, and it said, never say never. And so I'm like, that's my windshield. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's a plexiglass something over it. It's life size. So I bought it. It was like 25 bucks. And then I couldn't form it. So they helped me form it. We bought silicone and then like 8 guys, because we didn't have enough tape, or like just holding it in for like an hour and a half, taking turns drinking around it. And please come by a couple times. Like, we're fixing it. We're fixing it. Whatever. So then I was all right for the weekend. And then I drove it like that for like 4 years with the plexiglass over it. But it cracks from the weather changes, so I zip tied it. As far as I know, it's still the only guy that ever zip tied his windshield. But like, it pushes in, it pushes out, whatever. It gets all wet, so I keep towels in the car, just put it across the dash.
I can't believe you still have that car. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We are getting close to the Northeast. There are Dunkin' Donuts in our midst. How do you feel about that, Mike?
Doesn't bother me.
Mike doesn't drink coffee, but Corey and I do, and we are gonna make Mike order this for us. We are in Indiana. It's about 10 a.m. We are en route to Buffalo, New York, heading into Ohio next. The car's still doing great, so fingers crossed. We got 2 more stretches to go. What's up, man? How are you guys? Good, how are you? I didn't know you guys were gonna have a blocked off spot. Yeah. Wow.
VIP treatment, dude. Mm-hmm. Internet comes through again.
We have made it to Buffalo, New York. No issues. I can't believe we're in New York. We're so close to home. We're only about 8 hours from home at this point, and I am elated. So we're here with my friend Max. He's here in this red 964 Porsche behind me. He knows the owner of this place, and they were able to get this whole section of the parking lot roped off. It's called Charlie's Boatyard, and we're right on the lake. It's a Friday night. The weather's beautiful, so this place is packed. So I'm really, really excited that they have a whole section of this parking lot roped off for us. There's a lot of people expected to be here. We have friends from Toronto coming down, so this should be pretty awesome. We're hungry. We're gonna get some food. It's been a long day coming from Chicago, but the car performed beautifully. I'd say probably 40 cars, between 40 and 50 cars, way more people than that. So we're staying with my buddy Steve and Lydia tonight here in Buffalo, and then it's an 8-hour stretch to Boston. And then we are having our homecoming meet. As you can probably imagine, everywhere we've been with this car on this cross-country drive, the car is a conversation piece, because either people have no idea what it is, or they see that it says Toyota and they've never seen a Toyota that looks like this before, or they know what a Century is and they're freaking out because they've never seen one before. I don't know, it's like every other car I own, I guess, like the BMW 700, weird cars that no one's ever seen before. Yeah, I guess it takes up a lot of time. When you gotta be somewhere, it's like, yeah, we just had like, look, a yellow Aztec. We've seen like 5 yellow Aztecs on this trip. It's awesome. So ADD moment over. What are we talking about? We're just outside Syracuse, New York. We're a couple hours in on the drive home, and we are having the Boston meet tonight at Easy Pie in Revere. We just made it to Mike's house north of Boston, and he's home. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we're basically home. I live about an hour and a half north. Yeah, we're sitting in Mike's driveway in the Century. That's so crazy to me. Not a single issue, barely any oil consumption. Yeah, so we're gonna put on the homecoming meet tonight in Boston at the Easy Pie. Eat some amazing food, make an early morning jaunt home. Then it's hardcore prep for Ocean City, Maryland for the unofficial H2O, which is like, we leave for that in like 4 days. We're here at Easy Pie in Revere, Massachusetts. Still can't believe we're here. I mean, the last week in that car has been pretty incredible. We've traversed a lot of miles. So we're here, we got a little impromptu meet going on. This wasn't planned on the trip schedule, but Veros here at Easy Pie was like, you guys should come and hang out. So we put the word out last second. We got a whole bunch of people here. In New Hampshire. We are in my hometown of Meredith, New Hampshire. I can't believe we are driving this car through my hometown right now. Just under a week ago, yeah, what, 5 days ago. It's Saturday morning now. Monday morning, we hit the road from Seattle, Washington in a Japanese imported Toyota Century that we didn't know much about. We did tires, fluid checks, that's it. Just hit the road. And this thing performed flawlessly. Not a single issue on the road. Just so crazy. But we are literally 2 miles from my house right now, so I am so excited to pull this thing into my driveway. My dad's gonna be mind blown to see this thing.
Does he not know what? He knows what it is.
He knows what it is. I've shown him photos,
Oh, okay.
but he hasn't seen the thing yet. He doesn't know we're here. He knew I was coming back at some point today.
Yeah.
They're back!
Yep.
Congratulations.
Comfortable car seat I've ever sat in for the.
For like the 30 seconds you're in it.
Yeah.
And you can put your feet down if you want.
Yeah, look at the leg room.
You can fold this out, put your feet through. Yeah. It's wild. It's got so many crazy Easter eggs. Like the climate control center back here is remote control.
Wow.
The TV VCR has the original remote, all in Japanese.
Yeah, I saw you shot of that. Yeah.
So
it was
crazy. I love being able to feel the ground when you air the thing out. That's so sick. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed watching the episode. I enjoyed re-editing all of that footage and reliving some of my experience with that car. If you've been on the channel for a while, you'll know I sold this car a couple years ago to help fund building this shop out. It's living a good life in good hands back on the West Coast in California. I feel so grateful that I can say that I've owned one of my actual dream cars. So if you guys ever saw this car in person, if you saw me at a show with it, if you saw me cruising around, if you saw the S3 magazine that it was featured in, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much again for watching and for supporting this channel. You are a huge, huge support system for me and this shop. Subscribing to the channel helps this whole thing grow. It's a ton of work, but I really appreciate all of you guys' support. We'll see you in the next episode.